Hey pack leaders, this is Hannah with friends that aren't protecting families, we're protecting the pack. So lately I've been posting this video about EOS and why I think EOS is the stuff, and apparently I've learned that there's actually an anti-EOS community out there, and so I kind of want to just talk about that and just kind of present both sides and both perspectives. Okay. No, usually this is kind of a perspective exercise that I've done in our marriage stuff when there's conflicts within or problems that come up between my wife and I. We have different viewpoints and different perspectives of why we decide and do things a certain way that could be offending to each other. Okay, and of course the outcome is the intention, the heart motive is that I'm looking out for her, she's looking out for me, but then in the looking out of each other, you're like, dude, you don't get me. You don't know why I'm doing this. And she goes, yeah, I understand what you're doing, but you also need to look at the other side too. So I get it. Okay, I know that you guys are caring people. You guys are looking out for me too. So let's kind of see if I got it right. Okay, so let's go ahead and present your side first. Okay, so I hear that EOS, from what I've learned so far, is that it has been launched. It could be a total scam. They could run off with your money, and the paper pretty much says, "Hey, I'm gonna take your money basically, and you have no rights, no ownership, nothing. You're just giving them money basically in the documentation," and that is totally correct. I get it. I understand that. Now, what's so great about EOS? All it is just more centralization of delegate proof of stakes to trade off more speed. That is correct too. I get it. Now, with that, what else? What else is before I switch over to my perspective? I like to take turns, right? What else have I learned? I'm sure there's other coins too. I think there's Neo. There's other things. I think Tron, you could probably host some stuff on there, but I haven't done much research on other coins because every other coin that you do is kind of like a job interview to see whether you want to invest in them or not, and so it's just really time consuming. So I know that at the time when I first researched it, I did a lot of research on EOS, and I was like, all right, cool, this is the one, let's just go with it, and whatever else comes up, I'm gonna have to spend more time on it, take time away from doing other things. This is not what I wanted to do. Is just constantly invest in ICOs. Eventually, there are people out there who do that, and probably put a team together, have merits and statistics and all this other stuff, and then you kind of do your best. So I have done other ICOs where I just jumped on it. I saw an advertisement, jumped right on it, and bought it, and then it sucked. It just they dumped it on the exchange, and I lost a lot of value on it. But of course, I didn't put too much. I was just like, hey, let's try it out. But in a sense, why jump on other ICOs when I feel like, hey, EOS is pretty solid. It's a pretty, there's a lot of people, in a sense, confirming with their money, put your money where your mouth is on EOS. Okay, so we believe in it, and if we believe in it, then it'll work. Just like you building anything, if you believe in this project and enough people believe in it, 10 billion worth or whatever it is, it's gonna succeed. Now, on the flip side, can he run off with it? Sure, I'm sure he could. Will a lot of people get hurt? I'm sure they will. And at the end of the day, it looks like a lot of people who have earned this money and who are able to put that much, with our fiat system, it's all funny money anyway, right? So if it works out, great. If it doesn't, I'm sure there's another opportunity out there. I don't know if you played the cash flow game with Robert Kiyosaki. You keep pulling the small deal card, eventually one of these small deals is going to get you enough to get that big deal, and then you can go from there to get out of the rat race. Okay, so no matter what, I'm not going to feel bad. I'll take full responsibility for the outcome for EOS. I don't need an SEC or regulations or whatever say, oh, I lost it, he scammed me, I want my money back, wah wah. Man up. You invested in it, you did the best research you could. If it didn't work, great. If it worked, even better. Okay, then I'm sure there will be a bigger reward for that. So there's a difference between stock market and crypto. You see how crypto is more volatile. There's a lot more opportunities to make money. But when there's not much price action move, let's say the stock market for example, then there's really not much to make, and you really have to leverage a lot more in order to make a substantial amount. Okay. All right. So what else are people saying about EOS? Let's see. Let me go ahead and pull up some of the questions and what the naysayers are saying, so I can kind of share that with you guys. So let me do that real quick. I don't want to put people on the spot, but I can if you want me to. Friends are already protecting balance or protecting pack. So I want to. All right. So I think I paused it now. So I guess I have this one guy. Let me just switch over then, just to kind of share it because it's relevant. And I encourage you, since I'm calling you out here, create a video, put it on my comment. I like to hear from you too. Maybe it's better to hear you from your perspective on camera rather than just typing a few sentences here and there. All right, so here it is. All right, sorry man, it says you're in for a bad time. You buy now, forever, or ever really. You should do some more research. Understand the blockchain trilemma. Okay, I don't know what this trilemma is about. So what's the 3 things I need to consider? All right, there are a lot of players in the space. EOS is definitely not leading the pack. Really, it's no different than normal centralized web services. Multiple data centers for redundancy in the same conditions. Ethereum can hit 1 million transactions per second. Well, that's great, except that I experienced the CryptoKitties taking it down. Okay, I get it. I mean, maybe not right now. Maybe one decentralized app is, it's not can take it down. Then how many more can it handle, right? But so right now it's great for just it's still quick, it's still fast. I get it, as long as they're not raising any ICOs or doing any mass transfers. But building anything that requires cost per transaction, yeah, I get it. It's gonna cost money just to look at a picture or video or whatever. Okay. Yeah, I get it. That's true. Okay, and yeah, that's totally right. Thanks for looking out for me. I understand it. But I see it as the decentralized operating system. If you think that Microsoft came to you as like, hey, I got this thing called Microsoft. It's an operating system for computers, and you're like, what? Like, dude, I already have a program that works on my computer. Why would I need an operating system to run other applications? Like, come on. Well, basically, yeah, it's a launching platform where you don't have to recreate the operating system, where it's already there for you to quickly build decentralized apps, right? How much faster can you use instead of having starting from scratch every time? So, all right, so let's move on. All right, so I reply, let me know. All right, so passive income is not the same as investment. Right, I understand. EOS itself is an investment. And I'm not going to be a block producer. That's correct. I wasn't referring to that perspective. It'd be great if you are, but I'm not going to be that. And as control, you're available. That's correct too. And yes, there is inflation. And at that point, I am aware of this inflation. And there's some studies saying that within 5 years, the supply would double. So we'll see how demand goes, how well it is. I'm sure at that time, I've already put profit-taking strategies in there. So with that, yeah, I get it. That's a great perspective. Thanks for sharing that. And I have a strategy to combat that, and I'll share that in a little bit. And how much do you actually know about EOS? Okay, well, it's okay. It's all right. You don't have to. All right. Anyway, so basically, what I'm saying is that it's like digital real estate. It's you're renting the bandwidth to dApp developers, and in a sense, I'm in it for long term. I want to develop my own dApp on that system too. So in a sense, I feel like a part owner, and I'm going to share it with others, just like as it was my own property, my own company. Sharing that vision and, in a sense, selling that vision to other people. Just like the stuff that I do. If you create your own company, your own widget, your own gadget, you're going to believe in it, and you're going to find people who have a need for that and share that solution to better their lives. Okay? So looking at it from a pure standpoint, yeah, understand what you're getting into. It's not don't get into EOS just to make a quick buck and get rich and whatever, but be in it for long term. Like if you really see a solution that it can scale. It can allow you to build apps that aren't censored, like a YouTube or a Facebook. I mean, that's huge. Like, because right now it's controlled by, you know, the CEO, whoever it is, right? And no one say, oh, this is you know, talking about the government and their fiat stuff, and you know, news in Syria, and that gets all censored. You know, this is to in a sense put some freedom of speech and freedom where it doesn't do that. And you know, to have that on a Ethereum network, you know, and to pay per transaction, you know, maybe, you know, like, I'm sure it could work, but that's the solution that EOS is trying to do. Okay, is to be able to do that. So anyways, I have some other EOS fans, and you know, trying to or saying it's okay. Yeah, you know, promoting. Yeah, this, you know, it's awesome. And I did watch Chris Rock, the guy who made 10x. You can want to check that out too. So I am being considerate. I am listening to the other side, the other flip side of the coin, and I've heard his way of it. He is a business owner, and so let me pause this real quick. And so yeah, like he wants it to make kind of like my wife's side and say, well, you need to make sure it's working, that it's already have something launched, that it's credible, and but by the time that happens, in my perspective, EOS will be then worth more, right? It's only worth lesser right now at this point, is because we are taking a chance, and yes, we see an anticipation, and there is a risk that it could to be a total flop, and there is a risk that EOS may not deliver, and that's why it's $20, right, or $18. Now, if it launches and it proves itself, well, by the time you see that it proved itself and you want to jump in, yeah, you're going to be paying a premium like $100 to $500 to $1,000, whatever it is, right? Whatever the market says it is. So is the opportunity made when you see that it's, you know, going to be launched, or before, right? And of course, you know, you do your due diligence. Would I jump on an ICO here, one of these guys, and go, oh, yeah, I'm gonna take a risk on one of these guys, and you know, we'll see what happens. You know, like, so you could risk small, and you could totally, you know, do really well, like you did a Ripple or a Tron before the ICO. And there's tons of them, right? And a lot of these guys, I don't know anything about them, and researching and all this other stuff, right? And there's tons of opportunities like that, okay? But all I know is that instead of having to research all these other ones and then finding one to throw your money in, then that will probably not work out. I think we've done enough to say, hey, you know what? This is the one biggest ICO that hasn't ended yet. Well, you know, ICO, yes, it has ended, but it's still, you know, crowd sale funding, or whatever you want to call it, to be technical and stuff. It hasn't been released until June, okay? So until then, I won't be looking at other ICOs until EOS has ended, okay? I'm pretty confident that if there's, you know, $10 billion in there or whatever it is, the success of that is well funded, okay? They're not going to run out of money like other companies I've invested in, and I'll show you one, you know, CoinMarketCap. I did one called AdShares, because it had supposedly passive income, because, oops, this is my Coinbase account. Let me CoinMarketCap. There it is. So there it is. I think I picked this up around 10 cents. Okay, so I got like, you know, $4,000 or whatever it was of it, and I sold some already. And what I sold it around, it went up to $2. I'm like, great, that's like $4,000 or $8,000, where it was, and it came down to about $1.50, and I think I sold around 60 cents. 10% of my portfolio, so 20% of it, right? So I made my money back already, and now it's kind of like dropped down to 40 cents or whatever, but I already got my initial investment back. I still have like maybe 3,000-ish coins just sitting there for free, okay? And that's the strategy I would use for EOS also. When EOS hits about $30 to $50, I'm going to sell about 20%. That'll probably get me my initial investment back already. Anything that happens after that, well, that's all, you know, icing on the cake. What am I going to do with my initial investment? Well, you know what? Whatever coins you think that's going to take off, maybe, who knows, Tron, I don't know, maybe throw another 4K into that one and see where that goes. You know, we'll see. and see if that 5 times 3x and 5 times x, then take another 20% out, move it on, and perpetually compound your investments, okay, with that one. So you kind of, you know, go in, flip it, and move on, okay. Now, if you just held it the entire time, you could. I'm not sure what's going to happen yet on, I don't even know what kind of rents I'm going to be getting, but it'll probably be smart to kind of ladder in your sales, okay. Now, I don't know if you've, let me see, irony, ladder sell. I don't know if there's a video that I created here. I could find it for you. It's all my ring stuff. All right. Well, I think there's a video somewhere. How to buy EOS ladder. Let me pause this real quick. Alright, so here is it. It's called, you know, ICO initial coin offering arbitrage and then selling plan overview. Okay, so check that video out. I'll link it below. But basically, it's a Fibonacci spreadsheet on leaders, once you get in and calculating how much you're gonna take to kind of ladder out your sales. You see, I can maximize this for you.
I'm not gonna buy.
Pause this so doesn't.
I'm not gonna sell when it's.
There it is. Alright, so basically you kind of see this. This is when the value increased by 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, and this is 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13. So when the value of the price increases or multiplies by that amount, I sell always 10% of these coins. Okay, so if I put an initial investment of $450 or $530, by the time it 5x's, you know, this will be 3 to 4. I would have my initial investment back already by the time it hit 5x's and I sell 20% of this. I could, you know, hold it till 50, or I'll get more, but I would sell at 3x and not 5x. And so I have this similar one for EOS too. As it goes from 3x to 5x, $50, I'd say, sell at 20%, and then this is the amount, how many coins that you still have left. You're gonna have 366 coins still. But you've already taken out your initial investment, and then as it continues to 13, 21, 34, 55, 144x, initial investment of $530 will net me $10,000, right? So as high as it goes, then you kind of want to keep selling out on these levels as it increases in price. Okay, we don't know how high it's going to increase, but if it does increase, you'll at least know that the higher the price is, the less coins that you're gonna have to that you need to sell. So from 50 there, all right, I'm selling here, sell 10%. So initially I sold 159 coins. By the time it gets over to 45 coins right here, all right, by the time it goes over here, I'm selling half of that, so 21 coins instead of 45. Okay, and by the end of this entire period, I think I would still have 195 coins from my initial 453. Okay, at least half of it is expended, but you know, I don't have to sell as much anymore, and my take profit is right there for each period that I sell: 300, 500, 700,000, 12, 15, 22, 32. Okay, so this is one where Ayungo, I think it's they dumped this as soon as I got in. I think it dumped down to like 20 cents or whatever, so whatever. I didn't throw too much at it. I'm not contributing anymore, and it's just like, you know, like I'd rather just put this money in EOS. I would have done way better, right, instead of throwing in other tiny ICOs that, you know, I don't even know much about and all this other stuff. Okay, all right, so there it is. Have a plan. You know, like I think there's opportunities to make money. You know, ladder it in and get your initial investment out, and the rest is peach. And you can say all you want, it's gonna blow up on you, but that's great. I already got my initial investment out, and who knows, it bounces back, or I could get my initial investment out, it drops, and I could pour more into it and buy it a lot cheaper. Okay, free EOS coins. Okay, so but you know what I look at, you know, when I'm doing all this crypto is any times where I can, like, you know, build a fence. You know, you could be a hunter and go out and hunt every single day, 9 to 5 job, trade tick marks every single day. But as soon as you stop doing that, the food stops coming in. what I like to do, if I can't build a fence around it, I can't put, livestock in it and then let them, multiply and grow, and I'm hungry, I can just go to my fence and, take a sheep out or whatever, then I'm not going to participate in that. And all these other coins don't have passive type of incentives, but I see that EOS does, which is why I focus on EOS. And there's a lot of coins I can hold, and Ripple and Tron, but I don't see those passive income type of things where you can rent out your coins, let alone get dividends from airdrops and all this other stuff of other dApps that launch on it. Okay, and if they do well, great. It's just like I just want to hold more EOS, right? Because you're just getting so much incentives and benefits from it that I think that'll drive up the demand. Okay. All right. So, and yeah, if it totally bombs, he runs off with it. Fine, whatever. It's not like I had to work 9 to 5 for that income. We have a stream of income coming from Amazon, and whatever that comes in, what do? I still do my programming, I still do my stuff, I still build my fences, and as that comes in, then I just chuck it away on other coins or investments that, in a sense, that can appreciate, that can, in a sense, or buy assets that have residual income that comes with it. Eventually, when EOS does do well, I'm going to probably move that into hard assets like real estate, property tax liens, get an RV and start driving around and attend property tax auctions. That's kind of what I want to do. It'll be then a business trip, in a sense, for everything I do, and also investing in property tax liens, and then flipping properties and selling them and fixing them, and then selling down somewhere. So at least I could tour, attend auctions as part of the business. That's my dream goal, and so hopefully we'll see if you hold me to it and check in on me and see if I can accomplish that. Okay. All right. So I think I've talked all I can talk about it. I think this guy in that video should. Hope I wasn't playing this whole time. Yeah, it wasn't. Okay. So yeah, if you check this video out, I think he does his perspective on it, and I get it. I understand it. And by the time you realize it is worth something, it's already worth more than what you really want to pay sometimes, and then you kind of miss the boat. Okay. So just like any business, if you had something and you want me to believe in you, you can sell me on the idea, and if I think you can do it, and you can build a following of people and have the marketing behind it, then I can see it working. Like, you can have a fantastic program or whatever that works really well, and if you can't sell it, you can even have Microsoft, and if you can't sell it and you have no following, no, it doesn't make sense. But to have a big following enough to have $10 billion, I think that says something. Okay. All right. What else? All right. So I think let me talk about my side, right? So I think I've kind of threw a little bit of that of why I think why I should go to EOS. So yes, I think there's we've seen struggles with Bitcoin when I had owned it, and I didn't want to pay $50 transaction fees, so I started selling out of Bitcoin to Ethereum. And then I noticed Ethereum is bogged down. I was like, why does it take me so long to transfer my Ether, and it's using 60 GUI or whatever it is? So I was like, proof of work may not be the answer. All right. And so I think Dan Larimer also saw that too. It was like, hey, maybe not. So let's go to this, delegate proof of stake, right? Why waste all that energy on confirming when you can use it for more useful transactions? So let's go with that. And so what you get into EOS, what you actually get is the right to use the bandwidth of the system. So if you want to view a YouTube video, you're going to have to stake your coin on there, right? And then watch the video. Once you're done, get your coin back. All right? It's like the Aldi shopping cart, right? You got to put your quarter in the thing to get a shopping cart out. And so that guarantees you that if you want to get your quarter back, you're going to have to return the cart back to the rack and then get your quarter back. And what that happens, it just saves them having someone to go fetch all the carts all day. It makes you have to put the cart back to get your quarter back. And that's kind of the system behind it, right? So everyone would need to have EOS coins in order to access the EOS system. Now, if you want to build decentralized apps, you can have a bandwidth allocation on how much bandwidth and transactions you can do that you can then, in a sense, give out for free. I think I'm not sure the details behind that yet, but from what I vaguely know is that you need some EOS coins to develop an app that allocates you some bandwidth. If you need more bandwidth, you can need more coins. If you don't have it, you can either buy it or rent it from someone, and that's where that passive income comes in. So if you have an app that makes money and is generating income, yeah, I mean, you're gonna need to scale. You're gonna need more bandwidth, and it'll pay itself because you're charging a certain amount to service them, and then part of that goes to renting out more space. No different than me going to Amazon web server and paying them a monthly fee or whatever it is bandwidth that I use. Okay, but now the bandwidth the coins that I own is pretty much fixed. I don't have to pay that every single month. All right, Amazon you do. You have to pay that hosting fee or that bandwidth fee depending on how much you use. So if your customers use a ton of it, you're gonna be paying a lot more out of pocket, unless you own an EOS or real estate of that bandwidth space. Okay, so that's what I see. That's what I understand from it. Now, as far as the actual value of the coin itself, I don't plan on selling EOS, at least in its entirety, for about 2 years. And the reason for that is because if you look at Bitcoin and the history of Ethereum when it was first birthed and to its maturity, well, yeah, it was low. I actually saw it when it was like $7, and I was like barely new to it, and went up to 1,000, and I was like, whoa! And then started getting into it, and then started dropping down to 150. And I was like, oh, I could buy it now. But then it went up to now 17K, and then down to 10, right? All right, so that took about a year and a half of holding, right? And if you had bought Bitcoin and just start trading constantly and then hold it the entire time, then you could have losses, you could have gains, but who knows? I wasn't a trader. I didn't know how to trade. But if I kind of thought, hey, if I just held it that time, I would have been well off just holding it. Same with Ether. If I just got in early and then held it, I would be okay in a year and a half. And so I was like, okay, so this is strike 3 now. I think I should learn my lesson. Let's just buy EOS at $20, knowing that EOS is supposedly replacing Ethereum and should have similar pricing patterns. Now, I kind of think about it. I think Ethereum is also having the same kind of pricing pattern. Because remember, Bitcoin went up to 1,000, right? And then it came back to 150. Well, Ether went up to 1,200, came down to about 400, almost 300. And now it's climbing back up to 700, so maybe it's going to follow this pricing pattern of Bitcoin. I don't know. And then EOS will then follow the pricing pattern of Ether. Okay, so you kind of see the maturity growth from that. And I believe that, the time span is about a year and a half to 2 years to reach its peak before it corrects. And I'll be there getting ready with my trailing stop loss to, sell out if that happens. Okay. So I'm gonna guess between $100 to about $1,000 for EOS before maybe it corrects again down to maybe $300 or so, and then hit higher highs of beyond $1,000 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6K, 10K. Who knows? We'll see, because Bitcoin's like a 5-year-old or more coin, and EOS is not 5 years old yet. But when you gotta give it the same maturity time, same growth time. Everyone goes through the same phases in our growth. Okay. All right. So that's what I have for now. Post your comments below. Subscribe to my video if you want to see more. You have questions, anything that you want to know about, post them below, and I will answer them. So hopefully that helps you with my perspective of it, and charging forward. So I'm more on like, hey, you know what? This, whatever happens. It's the people. It's not any one coin. Who knows? Who cares? Even Tron, I even think with the amount of people on Tron and the market cap on Tron, it's the people, right? If they believe that Tron is better than EOS, then Tron could be it. If people believe EOS could be better, EOS would be it. Okay, but I think there's a lot of Chinese people who love Tron because it's, Alibaba and the Jack Ma and all this other stuff, right? So a lot of Chinese people like Tron, I think. And so I think that's why. And there's a lot of Chinese people in China, so I don't know. And then EOS wise, yeah, it's there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I keep in back in mind where bit shares and Steam isn't at the higher levels where it should, even though it has matured. So that's kind of something I'm keeping back in my mind. It's like, okay, so why not? Why is it not popular? But maybe it's the marketing, right? We go back to marketing. If it isn't marketed enough, then price will stay low. If BitShares isn't marketed enough, it will stay low. And I think that if EOS comes off and the marketing gets better, and BitShares moves to EOS, I think BitShares will then also be a sleeping giant and maybe rise to $10. Right now it's 30 cents, so you missed EOS at 50 cents. Start getting some BitShares. I'm starting to pick up some. I'd say I want to pick up at least 10,000, BitShares. So if it becomes $10, that's 100K. If it becomes $100, that's $1 million, right? So I kind of use those as numbers to say, hey, I want this going to be $1 million, then I need to pick up 100,000, and if I pick up 100,000, it just needs to be $10, right? Or if I pick up only 10,000, then I need BitShares to be $100. Can it reach $100? It might take a while, so that gives me an idea of what to expect later on, and still applying the laddering sell strategy, selling out every 10%, and then moving that and compounding. So eventually I'll probably own a lot of everything, because it'll all be free in a sense that everything I have will be free, and I'll continually move my initial investment out, and in a sense own a lot more coins, and then just let them all grow. And then I'm traveling, so alright, so I'll keep it short. It's half hour. Alright, so hopefully that's helped, and hope you get some EOS. Let's not miss out on the Microsoft of blockchain, and let's party together. All right, have a good one.